Hello! Traveling by bus in Latin America. Wow, that can be a lot of fun. Want to travel the world with you. Want to make all the dreams come true. Want to travel the world. Uncovering all the beauty. So, I have traveled quite a bit by bus here in Latin America. Traveled by bus a little bit in Europe as well. That was interesting. You should check out that video. But traveling by bus in Latin America can definitely be a different experience. Some of those differences may be no air conditioning, no heating, no bathroom, and other interesting situations. I've traveled from Managua, Nicaragua down to San Jose, Costa Rica by bus, and then took a bus from San Jose, Costa Rica down to Panama City. I've also traveled by bus in Brazil. Traveling by bus in Brazil is actually a pretty smooth and pleasant experience. I've traveled by bus to Argentina, to Lima, Peru, Arica, Chile. Now, honestly, most of my bad experiences on buses have been here in Bolivia. Outside of Bolivia, I don't know. I've not had that many problems. Oh, except for this one interesting thing that happened to me on my way back from Lima, Peru to La Paz, Bolivia. Yeah, so that was like a 26-hour bus ride. Now, fortunately, this bus did have a bathroom that I could use. And so I went in to use the bathroom, as I do several times a day. And I sit down on the little toilet and I see this little sticker that says solo urinario. I'm like, what? Only urinal? Like, you mean I'm only allowed to pee in this thing? Like, sorry guys, but my bowels are a little loose. I can't hold this in for 26 hours. I'm sorry. So, I mean, what was I gonna do? I had to let it go. And so I sat down to do my business and I forgot to lock the door. Oops. All of a sudden, I hear this like banging on the door, and it's the, what do you call that person? She was a stewardess? I don't know. You can't call her a flight attendant. Would you call her a bus ride attendant? I don't know. But the lady who was like serving the people on the bus was like banging on the door, screaming at me, "Urinario no más! Urinario no más!" And then she starts trying to open the door, and I grabbed like the door handle and I pulled it back shut and I locked it. And she continues to bang on the door, "Urinario no más! Urinario no más! Only a urinal!" I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, that was kind of embarrassing. I think we should move on to another story, right? Yeah. There was another time that I was traveling by bus up to La Paz. I think I was traveling from Santa Cruz to La Paz, and that's like a 17-hour bus ride. And on this bus, it was amazing that the bus in Bolivia had a bathroom. That's wonderful. It's like 5:30 in the morning. We're still like 3 hours out of La Paz, and my wife needs to go pee. So she gets up and goes to pee, and I kind of noticed, man, I really got to go pee too. So my wife goes to the bathroom, comes back, no problem. And I'm thinking, okay, great, my turn. So I went down to where the bathroom is and tried to open the door, but it was locked. And I knocked on the door and nobody's there. I kept knocking on the door, nobody answers. And then I see the guy who's like the bus ride attendant, and I asked him like, hey, can I get in the bathroom? He's like, nope, I locked the bathroom at 5 o'clock in the morning. Dude, like, my wife just came down here and used the bathroom, and now you're locking it up. You're not gonna let me use it? He's like, nope, you guys make a mess. Oh, we make a mess, huh? Okay, now I was super pissed off. I was furious. I mean, like, I had all these really mean, evil thoughts going through my head because I had to pee like really, really bad by now. So I'm thinking, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna whiz all over the bus. I'm just gonna pee right here, all up on the bus, on the seats, on the floor and everything. You don't want to clean up the bathroom? Well, you're gonna have to clean up the bus now. Ha 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 ha. I didn't do it. Yeah, I know. Maybe I should have. No, I shouldn't have. But oh my gosh, I just wanted to like. But yeah, that's so annoying, right? You know, I mean, they have a bathroom, but they don't want to use it. Gosh, not cool. So bathrooms are not the only issues with riding buses in Latin America. Now, one time, as a tourist, my 90 days were running out here in Bolivia, and I needed to get out of the country and then get back into the country to get another 90 days stamped on my passport. So I went to the bus station thinking I'm going to buy a bus to Arica, Chile, because the year before I went to Arica, Chile, and it was really nice, met some cool people there, had a great experience. But I decided to get on the internet and do a little investigating just to make sure. And it so happens that now Americans needed a tourist visa to get into Chile, and it was $100. So I was like, okay, scratch Chile off the list. Peru, no, I don't want to do that whole Peruvian border thing. Like, already did that twice, and yeah, not doing that again. So I'm like, where else can I go? How about Paraguay? I've never been to Paraguay, so I get on the internet and comes to find out Americans needed a tourist visa for Paraguay, which was like $45, and I didn't have the time to apply for that. So Argentina was not making Americans get tourist visas at the time. So I'm like, okay, let's go back to Argentina again. So I decided to go to Salta, Argentina, and I really wanted a smooth ride. I mean, I just want this to be hassle-free, get, from Santa Cruz to Bolivia to Salta. So I go shopping, looking at different bus lines to see which one would be the cheapest, but also the most convenient ride. And one of the things I really wanted was a direct ride from Santa Cruz, Bolivia to Salta, Argentina. So I found this one bus company. I don't remember which one it was, but I would definitely tell you if I could. They said that, yeah, they had direct rides from Santa Cruz all the way to Salta, Argentina. And I'm like, great. And I'm making sure, like, you mean like I'm going to get on one bus and that same bus is going to take me all the way to Salta. So this company assured me that yes, it would be a direct bus ride all the way from Santa Cruz to Salta, Argentina. And it wasn't too expensive. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. They told me what time I needed to be there. So I came back a little bit later that night and go to the bus company. And I'm like, hey, here I am, ready for my bus ride. Who are you? Let me see your ticket. Oh, what are we gonna do? Yeah, come with me. And they take me around and they put me on this bus that was definitely not an international bus. And I get on the bus, sit down, and the bus keeps filling up with people, and there's like no more seats left. And people are sitting in the floor, or they have like their like kepis, their guayos, those blankets that they carry stuff in, and they would like sit that down on the floor and then sit on top of it. There were cockroaches like crawling out on the floor and up on the seats. It was not a nice bus. About 12 hours later, we get to Yacuiba, Bolivia at like 4 or 5 in the morning. And it stops at the bus station in Yacuiba. And I start asking around. I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Like, they told me this bus went directly to Salta. And the bus driver's like, no way. no, you want to go to Argentina, you're going to have to get a taxi to take you to the border. And the border's not going to open till like 8 in the morning. And I'm like arguing with the guy. I'm like, no, like they told me that this bus went directly to Salta. Like, and now you're going to make me pay for a taxi to get me to the border where I'm going to have to wait till 8 in the morning. Like, what in the world? So anyways, that's what I did. I got out, got in a taxi. It took me down to the border where I waited several hours until the border finally opened up. Got my exit stamp, made it over into Positos, Argentina, where I had to look for the bus company that had sold me the ticket. And I'm like looking around and I can't find it. I eventually find it, and it's like this, like 1 meter by 1 meter, like little hut, like not even connected to like where the other bus lines are. And it was just like, what in the world? And when I showed the girl like my ticket, and she's like, oh, okay, yeah. And so she like took me around and she's like, well, do you want to get on this bus line or that bus line? And I'm just like, what in the world? Yeah, just give me that one. She finally put me on a bus and I made it to Salta, thank God. Now the bus from Positos, Argentina to Salta was really beautiful, just very nice bus, very clean. There's a bathroom, there was like water and other refreshments. Okay, now let me tell you about one more bus trip. So you may have seen the video where I crossed the Bolivian and Peruvian border twice in one day. Yeah, that was a story. So this was the deal. I needed to go over to Peru and get my passport stamped and hang out in Peru for a little bit and then come back and get some more time on my passport. And some friends of mine were like, oh, well, don't travel alone. We know somebody else who's going to La Paz, so why don't you guys travel together? And I'm like, sure, okay, yeah. So I was supposed to meet this friend at the bus station at around 9:45 at night. So as a good American, I showed up at around 9:30 at night at the bus station. Now you have to understand that this is not like the main bus station in Cochabamba, the city. This is the bus station in Quillacollo. So the buses are already coming from Cochabamba and they're stopping in Quillacollo just for a few minutes and then, getting a few more passengers and then heading on to La Paz. So I'm there at 9:30 at night and I'm, waiting like, okay, where's this guy? It's 9:45. Okay, it's time to like call him, see where he is, right? So, I call him up. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Like, are you coming? He's like, yeah, I'll be there in a few minutes. Just wait for me. So I'm like, okay. I'm waiting a little bit more. 15 minutes goes by. It's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock now. Like the last buses are arriving and leaving at 10 o'clock. So it's kind of like, dude, where are you? We need to get on a bus. Calling back up. Hey, man, where are you? Oh, yeah, I'm on my way. Hey, why don't you just go ahead and buy the tickets? So I go to the different bus lines and I'm asking for 2 seats to La Paz and everybody's sold out. So the guy finally gets there at like 10:30 and I'm like, dude, where have you been? All the seats are sold out. There's no more buses going to La Paz. Like, what are we going to do? He's like, don't worry. Let me talk to some people. So I follow him around and he starts talking to the bus drivers. And after talking to a few bus drivers, he's like, okay, I solved the problem. So I'm like, okay, here's the money. And where's our seat? He's like, oh, no, we're going to ride here. There, they opened up the luggage area. Yes, the luggage compartments. And they said, here you go. These are your seats to La Paz. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, oh my gosh. Actually, they had like some mattresses laying down in the luggage compartment. So we slept on mattresses through the night all the way to La Paz. I mean, that was actually pretty cool. I mean, it was pitch black. Like, you couldn't see anything. And thank God I didn't have to go to the bathroom. But yeah, I rode in the luggage compartment. Like, that was cool. Like, I've never done it again, but I would totally be willing to do it again if the opportunity arises. Absolutely. All right, guys, that's all for now. Bye. Adios. Ciao.